Nerd alert! Khaleesi Grimes 82's back, baby. And with Game of Thrones not ending until officially 2019 and The Walking Dead never ending, it would appear that my handle is still going to be intact for quite a while. The Walking Dead should have ended 3 seasons ago. It's absolute shit. You are now watching Douche TV. That's right, folks. It's a collab episode, which I love, which are great. You get opinions from other people, and they're definitely not an inconvenience for me to put together because I invite people on my show, but they never return the favor. It's happened many times in the past. I'm here because my viewers appreciate an honest opinion and not the fake bullshit geek culture that you convey every single time you show up. You love basically every film, you don't want to step on any toes, you don't want to be out of line, and you want everybody to love you, so you pander. As opposed to the constantly angry, over-the-top, hate-filled rage monster that you portray. You are the worst type of person and you need to kill yourself. Yep, that's the reaction I expect nowadays. Let's get this over with. It's the best and worst movies of 2017. I'm back, baby! I want to start by saying I think these lists are kind of pointless and dumb. I don't see all the movies that come out this year, so my opinion isn't even valid to myself. I didn't see Lady Bird, Disaster Artist, Shape of the Water, and some other ones that have been getting some really great buzz. So for me to say this was the best movie of the year or the worst, it just seems nonsensical. But I'm going to play along for fun because I know people do want to hear my opinions really quickly. That said, I would have loved to see those movies. I just don't have that much time. I'm a father of 2, I'm a husband, I do freelance, I have a full-time job. Blah, 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 poor me, support me on Patreon, nobody cares. Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns managed to see 365 movies last year, and they managed to get 500 reviews out. You are shit! And fail to understand that quantity is better than quality now. That's the thing that's true. I know this because I had a podcast last year that I posted 472 episodes of. And that's just a podcast. First off on my best list, and this isn't in any order at all, is Split, a movie by M. Night Shyamalan, a director I didn't think would ever produce another good movie. Surprised me. This was a great movie, a lot of fun little twists and turns, especially the bizarre ending that came out of left field, which I won't spoil in case you haven't seen it yet, but check it out. I think you might be pleasantly surprised like I was. What a twist! Such a nerd. I agree. I love this movie. Not as much as I love John Wick 2, though. Dat gun foo, huh? It's sick. Those are like the shells leaving the chamber. I don't know how guns work. That's right, isn't it? Not near as good as the first film for me. This one went on about 30 minutes too long. Didn't have that same driving force the first one had with the dead wife and the sad puppy that was murdered in front of him, laid down next to him. It was a case of more isn't necessarily better. We got a lot of longer extended action scenes that honestly I felt like they just dragged on. I was like, okay, he's killed what, like 6,000 people now? I get it. Isn't it crazy that the best Batman movie last year was in Lego form? So fucking fun! It was fine. Bit overrated if you ask me. Once again, I think it overstayed its welcome. The first half was noticeably stronger than the second. I think there's a lot of good jokes for both kids and adults. Kids obviously eat this film up. Mine love it a lot more than I did. But yeah, it's an easy watch. These Lego movies are typically pretty good, although Ninjago was actually not. I thought that the open gates where these different characters come in from like the Lord of the Rings and stuff, the Gremlins, was funny, but also out of place. It felt like something that belonged in Lego Movie 2 and not Lego Batman. You seem like the plot of Lego Movie 2. Block you. No, block you. No, block you. Go block yourself. This is my show. You can get out. I loved Get Out. Loved Get Out. I loved it. I didn't actually see it, but people said it was really good, so I'm gonna pretend like I did. I loved that film. So good. So good. Stop repeating me. My God, that's all you do is repeat things that are popular to say. Listen, in a year full of superhero movies and remakes and reboots, it was so nice to get something creative, something original for once. Now I'm going to stop this video and someone's going to tell me it's a remake and then I'm going to be pissed. I'm pretty positive it's not based on anything. and it's just its own thing. It's David Pumpkins, it's its own thing, and I loved it for that. I liked Logan more. Well, that wasn't a segue at all, was it? I loved Logan. My favorite movie of 2017, hands down. It was awesome, and I really, really fucking liked that the girl was super strong and good at things, because I think it's refreshing to finally see some women, some strong women in 2017. I hate everything that you are. Logan was the movie that I've been waiting for Hugh Jackman to do in this Wolverine universe for a long time. Ever since X2, when he shoved those claws through the guy's chest onto the fridge, yelling a foot from his face, an inch from his face. This is, I don't know measurements. I knew that Hugh Jackman was right for this role. I mean, I knew in the first one, but this one really solidified that thought process. And here we finally have that hard R, that edge that he needed. He's killing people left and right. He's going berserker multiple times. Plus, he's swearing. He's got fucking Xavier in this with him. Patrick Stewart, who is also perfectly cast. Speaking of strong females, Beauty and the Beast 2017. What a beautiful, classic, emotional ride that film was. I think you meant muddy ripoff. It is a shot-for-shot cash grab. I don't know how people can defend the Psycho color remake when this is essentially the same thing. Hey, you remember the Disney classic animated film that everybody fucking loves? It was up for Oscars or something. I think it won even. We're gonna take that and we're just gonna basically remake it, and we'll add in like 1 or 2 additional scenes just to make it seem like we're not just ripping ourselves off. But they are. And they're gonna continue to do it now with every freaking property. How dare you? This was a nod to the animated film. A nod, nothing more. She was a perfect Belle. She was even stronger than ever. Her relationship with the Beast was a thing, and it was so pretty. Everything is worse. Zero chemistry between our leads. The auto-tune was overblown. I love Emma Watson. She's my Hermione Granger. But this was not right for her. This was right for no one. If Disney wanted to do another Beauty and the Beast as a live action, just at least do something different. Don't just keep saying, nostalgia, remember this scene, remember this scene? Get hit by a car. Not a best of the year by any means. I just want to throw this out here so that I give some fuel to people in the comments so they can say, he didn't like Last Jedi, but he likes Life with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds. This guy's a moron. How can you trust anything he says? I understand that there's some campiness to it. I understand that the little amoeba thing poking a hole with the utility blade or whatever to get out of that room was silly nonsense, but it was still freaky when it grew up. It was still claustrophobic. It reminded me of Alien. Yeah, it's an Alien ripoff, but it takes that idea and it runs with it even further, I think. I was worried for our leads. I was impressed with the visuals. And it was a hell of a lot better than Alien Covenant, which was an Alien movie. Covenant is amazing. It's haunting, it's dark, it's powerful, it's everything that you are not. You try making a movie, it's hard. There is a scene in Alien Covenant shit where 2 Michael Fassbenders are playing a flute and one says to the other, I'll do the fingering. I'll do the fingering. How does that get by anybody on the writing team? How does that get by the cast? How does that get by the director? There is shit like that throughout this film. It is a dumpster fire, as the kids say. It is awful. It's an awful movie. It's an insult to the franchise. Strong female lead. Ripley 2.0. Ripley 2.0. Stop making copycat characters. Do something original with your lead. You want to make her female, fine, but don't just do it just because it's been in the past. And speaking of terrible, the Power Rangers. Why on fuck screen earth do people like this? What is there to like? It's smart. It's a darker, grittier take on the source material, one the fans, the true fans, were waiting for. It's a dark, gritty teenage drama that somehow has Power Rangers associated with it. The characters are uninteresting, to say the least. There is one fight scene, one action scene in the whole film that lasts all of 7 seconds. I think there's like 3 kicks total. Then they get in their mechs for another 15 minutes, maybe. Nobody's hurt, there's no stakes. It's not even fun. What the fuck do you like about that Power Rangers movie? Rub chum all over your body and swim with sharks. I think I'd rather watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2 for the 4th time. That's an example of sci-fi that appreciates its previous iteration and has actual character growth. Literally. Baby Groot grows into a teenager by the end. A more recent sci-fi movie could have perhaps taken some notes about character progression and respecting the movie that came before it. I really hope you are not building to a 15th fake Jedi rant. You are such a hypocrite. You are such a phony. Your hate for that film is pathetic. It's bandwagon. I'm saying nothing right now. On the comedy side of things, Baywatch. So funny. Oh my God, funny. It provided more ab workouts than Zac Efron has done. Does that even make sense? I'm a geek. I never wanted to see Hayden Christensen's Anakin more in my life. I would have pointed to the beach and yelled, "Sand!" and watched him slaughter all the beach guards and everybody involved in making that film. Because he hates sand. He hates sand. What an original joke. Can we move on and agree that Wonder Woman was wonderful, strong, female lead? It's about time. It was fine. Fine? Wait, you aren't serious, are you? Did we watch the same movie? I'm not the only one that really liked Wonder Woman, am I? Stop quoting overused YouTube comments. It was just a fine movie. It was nothing groundbreaking, earth-shattering. For DC, yeah, it was like the best fucking thing on the planet for that franchise that was slowly killing itself. But it was worse than Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it was worse than Logan, and it was worse than Thor 3, which all released this year. Don't do it. Please don't. Don't do it. Bias! Marvel fanboy! There it is. You forgot to put Spider-Man Homecoming in your Marvel jerk-off list, you piece of shit! I didn't think it was better than Wonder Woman, which is why I didn't put it on my previous list as being better than Wonder Woman, even though it is a Marvel movie. Shocking, I know. I didn't like the over-reliance on the suit. It made him feel more like a little baby junior Iron Man and less Spider-Man. I missed the powers that made him really feel like that character that set him apart from the others. Your fanboy sense is tingling! I feel like this is gonna be really long, a pain to edit. We need to go faster, please. Speaking of faster, Baby Driver! Yep, I agree. Edgar Wright is one of the greats, and I had a fun time there. Kevin Spacey, though. Yeah, that's unfortunate. You know what movie really blew me away? Dunkirk. Blew me away because of the war. Bombs. But I don't. I want to hit you with a Loot Crate box. Thank you for reminding me so much. I have 6 episodes I have to film later where I open boxes of toys, collectibles. Kids love it. I'm relatable. Also, I have to do an ad for Stardust, and then 17 more subsequent ads for Stardust. Of course you are. Jealous much. Just because I get approached by sponsors to make me seem like I'm a successful channel and I do them all because money, doesn't mean you have to be a hater. It doesn't mean I'm selling out. They do, they did, I passed. I don't have time for that crap, and I don't want to put that on my viewers to constantly see more ads than they already do. Dunkirk, I've talked about it before a couple times. Really enjoyed this one. I couldn't believe after the movie it was PG-13 and there was no blood or really any swearing to think about. That's how well it worked. Without having to replicate Saving Private Ryan, he did it without the gore, with all the kind of over-the-top violence that you saw in those. And granted, that's more realistic, but this was a bit more accessible to a wider audience that should see movies like this to understand just how shitty these events were. Took my grandpa to it for a second viewing. He was in awe from beginning to end. Then we went over to the Emoji Movie because I had to even that out and prove to him that there's still as much evil in this world as there is good. Joking, I wouldn't wish that film on my worst enemy. Okay, eat a bag of dicks. What did you expect Sony to do with that material? They did the best job they could. Nothing! Nothing. It shouldn't have been made. It's a bad movie. It's a terrible movie. It's a ripoff of 15 other films that are much better. I took my children to this. I'm a bad father. My daughter looked up at me 15 minutes into the film like she was gonna cry. I was already crying. My son was asleep. For a movie that's about emotion and expression, it's amazing that it elicits none from the audience. I was stone-faced for the entire film. I wanted to kill myself by drowning on the pop I was drinking. I thought if maybe I plugged my nose and just poured the pop in really quickly and didn't swallow, that I would eventually gurgle on it, pass out. But then my kids would be left there alone in this theater. Who the fuck knows what would have happened if they had stayed there for 2 hours while this abortion finished up. It is hell spawn. It is demon lore. It is the Antichrist. And it shouldn't be seen by anyone. I love the emoji pop. So funny. Is this right? I don't even know. I liked the emoji pop, he says. That's cute. That's funny. You know, the only good thing that came out of this was my dance that I created called the Adam Dick Dance. It's pretty obvious what it's about. It's a colorful assortment of penis play for the senses, including the following: the bandsaw, the peekaboo, tippy toe, the Chinese dick trap. This actually requires 2 people to perform. Tip to tip, tip to tip. Big time. I also had a move called the Dark Tower, which is a little bit more limited depending on who you are, but I since removed it because it reminded me of that film. It had cool reloading. That's all it had. I have since read the book, and now I can appreciate on an entirely different level why people hate it even more. We talked about Logan earlier, but we forgot to finish the title. Lucky. Logan Lucky. Come on. Come on. A redneck heist in the same vein as Ocean's 11, appropriately by the same director. I dig it. Speaking of Ocean's 11, I am super pumped. They are making an Ocean's 8, an all-female cast version of the Ocean's trilogy we've grown to love. Strong female leads! Yes! It's about time. Just ignore him. I liked the movie It a lot. Sure, it had a lot of the formula scares, jump scares, the loud musical cues, but the setting was nice, the cast was great, and it was a far cry from that low-budget made-for-TV series we had. This was a step in the right direction. Very, very happy with it. Love this movie. Oh my god, I love this movie, but I did love the original made-for-TV 2-part miniseries with Tim Curry because he was so good as the clown. Question though, did you even read the book, Adam? Do you even read, bro? No, I did not. Shut the fuck up then. Your opinion means nothing. Did you? Yeah, yes. Yes. As far as you know, yes. Mother goes on the worst list, hugely disappointed. That's to be expected, as Darren Aronofsky's either very hit or very miss with me. Translation, it was too deep for you. It was an allegory. You probably don't know what the word means. Look it up. So much depth! Coco's on my best list. As long as I don't have to sit through Olaf's Frozen Fuckfest again, I'm all good. Yep. Male driven. Justice League isn't on my best, it's also not on my worst. It's a mediocre affair from beginning to end. It's definitely a disappointment, I'll say that. Translation, DC film, so you hated it. Fuck off. Thor 3 is definitely on my best list. I had a great time with that movie. Of course you did, Marvel. Don't get me wrong, I really liked it, I enjoyed it, I really liked it, but I'm just so sick of all your lists being full of male-driven leads. Where are the female-driven leads? Oh, because they're hard to come by? Is that what you're saying? What is with this strong female bullshit that's been popping up everywhere lately? Why are we doing this? This isn't a new concept. This has been going on for a long time. Kill Bill, Alien. These are huge films with female leads. Terminator, Terminator 2, Sarah fucking Connor, Halloween. Have you heard of these movies? They're some of the biggest movies of all time. Princess Leia was a strong female character. Why do we pretend they don't exist? Tomb Raider, Salt, hell, Angelina Jolie in general has been in a ton of these types of movies. You have Charlie's Angels, you got A League of Their Own, you have older films like Fried Green Tomatoes, Pretty Woman, Pretty in Pink. This is completely puzzling why we're going with this agenda lately. Like, it's got strong female leads. They've been around. Let them be around. Don't need to make a celebration about it. It's insulting, if anything. It's like Ocean's 8's coming out. You have to piggyback off the success of the Ocean's franchise? Why? Give them their own film. Pitch Perfect did it. Sister Act did it. It's the problem here. It just seems so forced. Forced. Star Wars. Shut up, Grimes. All right, it's time. This is the final movie we're going to talk about. You should probably already know if you've seen my videos that I did not care for The Last Jedi. If you like it a lot, if you love it, just walk away unless you're okay with hearing me complain again for a little while about it. I'm not going to do it a long time. Just want to say a little bit more. Dun, 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 dun. Don't tell me you're garbage, Adam. Nobody wants to hear it. When I left The Last Jedi with my brothers, we all had blank faces. We're like, and I even said, I'm like, well, that was something. And my brother even said, yeah, that was a Star Wars movie? Like a question. I understand now. You're hating because it's the cool thing to do on this film. Look at the script. Look at the story. And then ask yourself, what the fuck did it accomplish? And as it eats at me every day, and as I have conversations with other people, and other people ask if I like it, I'm constantly saying, no, I didn't like this movie. I was gonna see it again to see if that was a confirmed feeling, but why the fuck would I give more money to this? I know I didn't like it. Impressive. Every word in that sentence was wrong. You don't like it because it's cool to not like it. That's the trend. That's what people are doing. I'm so sick of this. Just because it's not a cookie cutter Star Wars movie that tastes good in your tummy doesn't mean you have to hate on it. It is ballsy. It takes chances. It takes all the chances. Every chance is stolen. It's taken. It's ripe for the plucking. Oh, is that a sour apple, Adam? I believe this is for you. This isn't about hating to be popular. This is just about not liking where the story went, where these characters went. There is no progression at all. Rey doesn't have any sort of educational update. She doesn't learn the Force more. She's just naturally good at everything. Snoke gets no backstory. He's murdered because he's a red herring now, apparently. Let go of the anger. Breathe. Just breathe. Luke stuff. I don't understand why people like the Luke story. I don't like the fact that my hero was gone for 30 years off screen. I'm supposed to be happy that all he did with his time was train some people and then want to die alone for the last 10 to 15 years while his friends and family were being hunted down and killed. He knows this is happening. Why would you like that? Why is that interesting and ballsy to you? All you want are lightsaber fights, your male-driven ego films. You don't care about strong, independent women. You don't care about a ballsy script. 2017 was the year of girl power. Remember, there's no strong females, as I stated earlier. We had to make 2017 all about that. You can have strong females, that doesn't mean you have to make all the males dumbasses. You don't understand The Last Jedi. You look at it and think, oh, cute little porgs to sell merchandise. That's not what the porgs are all about, you piece of shit. You know that. The porgs are so fucking deep. Why the fuck did they want to get to Luke so bad? Like it. The whole plot of A Force Awakens was to get to Luke Skywalker. Why? In the corner. Tell me why. Sexy in and then people will say and the men it wasn't to get to Luke, it was to get to one of the Jedi temples. Okay, still why? Comprehend what was the importance? Smart, what was the significance? Elegance of Ryan Johnson and his single vision for the film that didn't line up with almost anybody else. But people pretend that they love this film for being deep because it is deep. You didn't think your savior, your fucking Luke Skywalker was going to go down like a bitch, huh? But that was great. That's what made it different. That's what made it special. That's what made it awesome. The direction that you like is that they made Luke a sourpuss. And I applaud the movie for its bravery, for its focus, for its determination to sell merchandise and to pretend like it's a fucking smart movie. Game over. Come on the train and ride it. Choop, choop. Clap, 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 clap. We're done here. Just to recap, you loved everything that came out this year, yes? Correct. I love movies. You don't. Thanks for watching, everyone. Subscribe. Please subscribe. Support on Patreon. Do all the things. Stardust app. Money. Bring it to me. Give it to me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on The Cringe.